Hey guys, welcome to lessons 14-4 problem solving when it comes to patterns. I wanted to record it because it's a multi-step question and I wanted you guys to be able to go back to it while you guys are working on it on Google Meet. I'm going to have you guys work on it as I'm there, but you'll have the video that you're watching yourself. And then it's going to help you walk through the steps and I'll just be there if you guys have even more questions. So again, our topic skill is 14-4, problem solving. The question that we're doing is very long. You will see that it goes all the way down. I'm using the whole entire board. So starting off, Elena built the towers using the rule. Each story has 7 blocks. How many blocks will a 13-story tower have? Think about it like any other question that we've done this unit where we have a rule and we basically do the rule to get the answers that we're missing. So what I need to focus on is what is my rule? Again, they said the rule here is each story has 7 blocks. Okay, so if I have one story, that's 7 blocks. If I have 2 stories, what would that be? 14 because I'm multiplying. Each means to multiply. So now that I know what my rule is, I need to figure out what my answer is. The question is asking us to figure out what answer we need. The question is asking us, how many blocks will a 13-story tower have? So how many blocks will a 13-story tower have? Obviously, since it says each, I think I'm going to be using the 7 blocks that are there and multiplying them by the stories that I have. So that's what my head is going to be thinking of. I'm thinking about it in my head. So now let me go down to my first part of my question that I need to answer. Complete the table to help describe the pattern. So this is our table that we have, again, like I was talking about up here. If I have one story and I multiply it by the 7 blocks that I need to, then I'm going to have 7 blocks. Simple. If I multiply by the 7, it gives me the 7 blocks. 2 times 7, 14 blocks. 3 times 7, 21 blocks. 4 times 7, I know my 7's facts, that's 28 blocks. 5 times 7, I know my 7's facts, that's 35 blocks. So that is going to give me the 35 blocks that I need. Now, this is the first part of the question, part 1. Now, the second part of the question is down here where it says, what is another way to describe the pattern that is not described by the rule? So they're just basically saying, what's another way to describe each story has 7 blocks? How else can we say that? So let's look at it. So there's 3 options they're going to give you on your Pearson Realize. I chose the correct option, and I'm going to explain why. But I think once you read it, you'll see exactly how self-explanatory it is. It's very clear why it's the answer. So this is saying the number of blocks is blank times the number of stories. So let's look back at our table. The number of blocks here is how many times the number of stories. 7 equals blank times 1. Well, 7 times 1. 14 equals blank times 2. Well, 7 times 2. 21 equals 7 times 3. 28 equals 7 times 4. 35 equals 7 times 5. That's basically what we're saying. So the number of blocks is 7 times the number of stories. Everything that we did, our number of stories, we just multiplied by 7. So we're basically repeating what we just did, but in a sentence form. That's really all that they're asking for here. Now, on the bottom, our last problem that we're doing, sorry, I wanted to put correct, meaning that this is the correct answer. Now, our last problem that we're doing on the bottom is literally asking us a question that we circled up top, where it asks us how many blocks will a 13-story tower have? Now we get to answer it. How many blocks are in a 13-story tower? Explain. What should I do? We said that we needed to multiply. Multiply what? We need to multiply our 13 stories multiply it by the 7 blocks. And then once we do that, we get our answer. Since I am running out of space, I'm going to do my answer over here. So I have my area model because that's a bit easier for me to multiply. and multiplying it by 7. So 7 times 10 is 70. 3 times 7 is 21. If I add those things together, I get 91. So my answer here is 91 blocks. So 91 blocks. Now, the thing that we're actually explaining, our explain part, is here, just this sentence. So now it's saying, sorry, gotta move my board, it's so big. So there are 91 blocks in a 13-story tower. That's literally how we do this problem. But it was a really big problem that normally I would do on the webcam for you in class, but that's not how this is working, so I have to do it on this board. That is how you solve this problem. That's the last lesson for this unit before you take your test. Your test is going to ask you a few problems like this, where it's multiple steps, and you're basically just thinking, what is it that I did in the story, in the table, and what words match that? Just like how we used to do our word sentences to match our math equations. That's literally what you're doing. You're matching the words to what you did so that you can find your correct answer. And notice how all of our problems on here are more than one question. You usually have 2 or 3-part questions on your Pearson Realize, and you have to get them all correct in order to receive full credit. If you only get half of it correct, then you only get half of the points. So that's a little bit different than what it was in class, because before you would have to get all of it right or none of it was right. So now that's nice that we get to do this, but that was this last lesson of the unit. If you have any other questions, you know where to find me. Hopefully this was helpful.